Hello, my beautiful sister. Welcome to a channel committed to helping you to start, grow, and sustain a transformative ministry. My name is Reverend Jocelyn. I am the founder of Women in the Ministry and the author of Sister Start Your Ministry. I grew my ministry from a simple blog to a national ministry that helps people across the country heal from trauma, and I'm committed to helping you to grow a powerful ministry as well. Today, I want to talk about the struggle between deciding if you're going to start a ministry outside of the walls of the church or are you going to build your ministry within the church. Both are needed, both are essential, but it's really a matter of deciding if you're going to do one or the other, or sometimes both. Now, when it came to my story, I actually worked for my church for many years. For over a decade, I served not only running the nonprofit arm of my church, but I also was extremely involved within the ministries. I love working within the church. And I think that the church is a place that people go to as a spiritual hospital for help in so many different areas. And it's important to have women such as yourself to serve in key roles. Now, I want to talk about the benefits of both starting and creating a ministry within the church and also starting your own ministry. Now, the benefits of starting a ministry within the walls of the church is that A, you might be able to get financial support from the church body. You have access to the people, so you don't necessarily have to do recruiting to the masses versus recruiting within the walls of the church. Maybe you belong to a church that is very supportive of women in ministry. So you might have some support there to get things off the ground. You know people, you have those connections. There's systems there. So that's the benefit. The drawback is it could also be red tape that you have to go through. You might not actually, in some cases, depending on the church dynamic, you might not have the support that you desire to, or your church, honestly, might be too limiting for what God is calling you to. I have learned that sometimes the vision that God has called us to, the church walls are too small for the big vision that God is giving us. And if that's the case, even if there's no hard feelings, you might love your church. That's when you have to really consider maybe I need to step out and start something that goes beyond the church. Maybe that's a nonprofit. Maybe that is you are becoming a life coach. Maybe you are starting a Christian counseling company. Maybe you're doing whatever it is that God is calling you to. And we'll have some helpful videos in the very near future on helping you to discern your call. But whatever that is, sometimes it's meant to go beyond the walls of the church because the church is the people. The church is not limited to the building. And sometimes we get so focused on doing work within the church for those who are saved that there's a lot of people out here who need what you go off of. And so the benefit of that is that if you do decide to step out and start a ministry that goes beyond the walls of the church, you can reach the masses. You can reach so many people. And there's a number of different avenues for you to do this with. You can use technology like this and create a virtual ministry. You might be called to travel across the country with your message. You might use books, you might use podcasts, you might use a number of avenues, all of which we're going to talk about on this channel. But regardless of what God is calling you to, I want you to think think wider, think bigger. I think sometimes our vision is so limited because of what we have seen, and sometimes there's been embedded theology that we have to unlearn around the role of women, what we're capable of doing as ministers. Many of us might belong to a denomination that really don't honor the greatness that's within us. And so unlearning that, and then also our own self-doubt, our own fears, our own imposter syndrome that we're working through. All of these things can play a factor in holding us back from accepting the call that God is leading us to. And let me tell you, sisters, if I continued to just do what was safe, if I stayed at my job over 6 years ago, if I just was at a place where I didn't believe that the purpose that God had for me was so much greater than myself. It wasn't even about me at this point. There were people who were waiting for my ministry so that they can experience freedom, that they can experience healing. And at the same time, it was helping me to heal. I just cringe at the idea of where I would be. And so I share that because I know, sister, that God has a powerful ministry inside of you. and something has been holding you back. And I don't want the walls of the church, what people have told you, your own doubts, your own fears, to stop you from answering this call. And so, as you discern, should you step out and do your own ministry? Should you do ministry within the side of the church? Should you do both? I just want you to go before God and take the limits off of Him. And if God is calling you to step out, then do it. Do it. Do it afraid. It is worth it. Let me tell you, and we'll be here to guide you every step of the way. And so that's the short version of this. We have so many other videos coming up that's going to help you as you discern your call. But one thing that I'm going to ask you to do, if you haven't already, pick up a copy of my new book, Sister Start Your Ministry. It's a blueprint to help you to really grow this transformative ministry that God is calling you to. Also, I got a free gift for you. Check out the show notes for this free gift. It's called the Ministry Launch Starter Kit, and it really has some great tools, resources, assessments to help you to get started. Lastly, be sure to subscribe. If you want to continue to hear great resources and teachings on this subject, then you want to make sure you subscribe to this channel. So that is it, my sister. I will see you in the next video, and you have an amazing rest of your day.